Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, B-Funk, thinking right out here in my lab, aka classroom, because I'm about to get some good lessons from the book. I got something good for you today. So I'm here doing what I do for you. Let's go. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking, way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. So you see where we're going with this. Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? Well, when I get through, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat be true. Mayat's my girl, but my other girl is Aset. She had her own temple and she had rules. I just gave you the concept of purifying the body. This is how you're going to live for the wisdom. We're about to have some fun. I'm about to teach now. So get comfortable. We might be here for a minute, but this is good information. I just showed you a picture, the pylons of the temple of Aset at Galika Island in Aswan in Egypt. If you know anything about the Aswan Dam, I don't know there, but that's up north, And you got Plutarch, a student who practiced the mysteries of Isis. The Greeks call her Isis. Aset is my name. It's reported that the initiates had to follow a strict diet made up of vegetables, fruits, and they had to abstain from these particular kinds of food. Swine, I guess pork, sheep, fish, etc. They were vegans. They didn't do meat, okay? But as well as indulge of the carnal appetite, the physical pleasures of the flesh. And in the following excerpts, Plutarch will describe the purpose and the procedures of the diet observed by the initiates of Aset and the goal to be obtained through the rigorous, the rigorous and arduous spiritual program that you had to follow in order to succeed and reach the level of knowledge of self, nihas. Okay, it's an educational program. This next excerpt should be studied carefully. And it got from 1 to 12 concepts on one page. And I'm going to go to the other side where it says the mystical implication of the teachings. When you hear mystical, you hear mystery. That means it's an esoteric hidden meaning in what you're about to get involved with. The information should give you a better understanding. Okay, so I hope I can break that down for you right here. Now, to desire. My man Alan Watts, he do the Eastern concept. He talked to the old wise men. He said, to desire is why we suffer. What he's saying is the thing that you want causes you to suffer. I understand it, but back then I desire. The goal is not to desire. And when you reach a certain level, I get it. Why? I know now. So therefore, that means to covet after truth. Those truths more especially which concerns the divine nature, meaning higher self. And this is to your aspire. This is for you to aspire to what? To become a partaker. When you initiate, when you're going to be part of something, you're going to allow them to do what they do, initiate you. I have Masons come in, understand you got to, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So when you don't know, let somebody teach you. If you don't know, ask somebody. That's all you got to do. But you are an aspirant. You aspire to partake in what? Of the nature of oneself. Meaning finding yourself, discovering yourself, aka know yourself. That's the first concept. The next one is, and to profess that all our studies are for what, and our inquiries are about God, are devoted to the acquisition of holiness and spiritual enlightenment, meaning you and God becoming close. And this occupation is surely more truly religious. And again, God is religious concept, but than any external. Why? Because it requires, this is number 3, purification or more service of the temple can be. You come to the temple, you respect it, you partake in what's going on, but more especially, you must put yourself in the disposition of the mind by highly being able to accept that the goddess to whose service you are dedicated to, Maya, in this case, Aset, okay? She's going to teach you things. What is this? To her special characteristics. Again, and her special character is what? Wisdom. And the foresight. And her very name seems to express what they call a particular relation. The name is important. When they change the name, they master what they call. That's the concept. God named everything, so he's in control of all. That's the idea. But which she bears what? To knowledge. She's the queen for Isis, which they call by the Greeks. I hate that. And Isis is a Greek word, and it means knowledge or wisdom. I ain't arguing. Moving on. But now you got number 5, and they got Typhoon, which represents Set. Set represents what? Ignorance, darkness, evil, wrong. Aset, or Isis, represents what? Knowledge and wisdom. So that's right against wrong. They never gonna go together, but they brother and sister. And the Set means what? The name, Set, okay. The name of her professed adversary. She's his adversary. That means your opposite. We ain't gonna get along. If I'm bad, when I was that guy, we didn't hang out with good people. Why? They was our adversary. They didn't want to be around us. We didn't want to be around them. So again, ignorance and intellect won't hang out with each other. And as also the Greek word, and that name means pride and insolence. Okay, same thing, ignorance, whatever. But number 6, the latter name as well adopted to one who full of what? Ignorance. Now we go back there again. You can't get around the definition of what a word is. No matter what you try to use, it still go back to ignorance. And they live in error, and they live in fear, and they what? Tear things in pieces. Remember, Set cut a saw up into 14 pieces. They show you that a confused, angry person would tear stuff up. And what did his girl do? And tearing it to pieces, and they conceal what they considered the holy doctrine about Asar, which the goddess collected. Who did that? She collected and compiled and delivered to those who were aspired after the most perfect participation in the divine nature. She found all 13 pieces. The 14 pieces of penis got eaten. But the story goes, she put them back together again with who? Her sister, Nephthah. Her son, stepson, Anubis, which is Asar's son by Nephthah. They put them back together and let them go into the afterlife. Remember, the body had to be complete, and she manifested a fake penis and got impregnated. That's called an immaculate conception. But remember, it's a myth. It's an allegorical story. It's not literal. Y'all took and made that story literal. I'm gonna leave that there. Moving on, I ain't got time for that. But I'm trying to explain to you, everything that's being done theological, conceptually, already had been done. I just took spin-offs and took what you like and moved on. And that's fine, because like I said, I know good Christians, good people who practice Christianity. I know good people who practice Islam, good people who follow Judaism. Good people, good people. I don't give a damn what the religion is. And that's what God says, so I'm with him. But this doctrine, it calculates a steady perseverance in what? One uniform and temporal course of life. Right. Number 8, and in an abstinence from what? A particular kinds of food, which is the diet we talked about. Number 9, as well as from all indulgence of carnal appetites. Semen retention, abstinence from sexual pleasures, and today ain't even on the chart. Number 10, we're getting close. And it restrains the intemperate and voluptuous parts within what? Due bounds. And at the same time inhabits her votaries to undergo those what? Astray and regard ceremonies which their religions, again, obligates them to observe. Every religious concept has ceremonies and rituals that they follow traditionally. That's understandable. I could care less. But at the end and the aim of all these toils and labors, you want God to tell you what? Good job, my good and faithful servant. That's the concept that y'all got. But according to us, we say the end and the aim of all these toils and labors in the attainment of what? Knowledge of who? The first and the chief supreme being. Who could that be? Who alone, again, the only thing singular, I can tell you, God is the one. Everything else comes in pairs. That's the study of creation. Moving on. All right. So the supreme being, who alone, he tell you, I'm alone by myself created this, is the object of the understanding of the mind. He's all mental. The universe is all mind. Get it? And consciousness, meaning to know. And now we got artificial intelligence. I ain't going there. But God don't need to be artificial. He has it all. And this knowledge and the goddess invites us to seek after, to what? To bear as being near and dwelling continually, becoming conscious of who you are. Christ conscious, meaning you got Christ on your mind all the time. I tell you, I'm God conscious. I got God on my mind all the time. I don't take him off. I don't let him know. We all, God, the spirit in you, don't leave you until what? The body ceases to exist, to live. If he got no more, I got to go. But until then, he's with you. I don't turn him off. When you become connected, mind and heart, coherence, you become one with God. Your decision making, your actions, everything you do is based on what's pleasing to him. Those people who live like that, be a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, they don't have many friends. I'm a philosopher. I have no friends. I stand on my philosophy and I don't give a damn. So, yeah, why do God's servants get the treatment that we get? But I tell anybody, if blessings from God is what I'm getting for doing what I'm doing, and hate I'm getting from you, man, hate on me. Hate me. Why? Because the more you hate, the more he blesses me. Moving on. And that just burns you up. I know that. So again, when somebody don't like what you're doing, keep doing it. That's all. And with her on your mind constantly, and this is also is what their very name of her temple promises us. That is to say, the knowledge and the understanding of the eternal self-existence being. Now it is called what? Iasionon, which suggests that if we approach the temple of the goddess rightly, what happened? We shall be able to obtain the knowledge and the wisdom of that eternal self-existing being that we're within us. The goal is to know that. Not to believe it, but to know it. And there's ways you can make that happen. That's my point. And I'm going to move on down here to now we're going to get into the mystical implication of the teaching. Man, I'm going to break it down for you a little bit more esoterically, give you the hidden meaning behind what they were saying. Watch this. Now, in every number at the beginning of each paragraph below will correspond with the 12 numbers I gave you over here. Give you a little breakdown of it. But I'm going to go through each one of them, dissect it for you, see if you can understand it. But this is what the mystical implication means, the esoteric meaning, the hidden meaning, so that you can understand the story. 1, it is to be understood that spiritual aspirations implies what? That you are seeking in the union with who? Or becoming one with the thing being sought, because this is the only way to truly what? Become one with the thing that's sought. And this is the only way to truly become what? To know it. To know God, you got to become God. That's what they're saying right there. That's what they say. And there's things you can do to make that happen. They're going to break it down for you. And to know something. You can have opinions, and we all do, like armpits and assholes. But what is it to be like a whale? But you would never exactly know until what you actually become one with it. We can't become a whale, so all we can do is study it and try to understand it. But we can become one with God. That's the concept we try to set forth. In God's unfolding, all that exists is the one being, the one thing that's worthy of veneration and identification and devotion and worship. So no matter what name you call him, when you do those things, he recognizes that. That makes sense? Okay, so moving on. But this knowing, not believing, remember, this knowing of the netter. Remember, we had the word for God. To us, netter meant God. And the goal, knowing of the netter, is the goal of what? All spiritual participants. Whether it be religion, whether it be whatever. But your goal is to get to know God. Become one with him. It said that in the first one. It's landing out there for you, so I get excited. But it's breaking down. I understand clearly. But what's this? This knowing of the netter means you have to what? Become one with them with what? Practice. And this is the supreme goal which must be kept in mind by all spiritual aspirants, aka right thinkers, God conscious. Everything you do is being sold, seen, recorded, and taken in consideration. You know that? So again, act like you're being watched. Oh man, what that? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yeah, always. Yeah, always. They try to tell you in stories and fairy tales, I ain't got time. But everybody had a concept, that's all we have. You can teach it to them in rhyme and riddle, but the idea is that they had to understand it so what they could implement it. Gaining understanding of something, using it is the way you would understand how to use it. You're getting a weapon, you need to know how to use it. And enlightenment is your weapon. Well, it's my choice. Number 2, in order to discover this hidden nature, aka God, emphasis is placed on what? Daily study. Study what? To show myself approved. To who? Your consciousness. And you are to inquire into the nature of all things. Curiosity. The first one you need to know is what? Who am I? So if your first question is who you are, the answer should be what? God. But you don't know that until what? You go through the process. And what is this? What is the universe composed of? The universe is all mental. God is all mind. Hermetic law of principles, okay? It's all up here. Who is God? Good questions. And how am I related to God? Ding, 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 ding. I just gave you a lesson. Life, the spirit that's in us, is God's gift to us. What we do with it by enlightening it, purifying it, and sending it back home is our gift to him. That makes sense? I had that philosophy, didn't know what the hell it meant, but I just liked the way it sounded good back there. Now I can interpret it, I can explain it and break it down. Why? I've done it. These are the questions which, when pursued, lead one to discovery of what? One's true self, aka God. If you are searching knowledge about the world, you are searching fulfilling religious concepts, you're gonna find God there. And those who do not engage in this form of inquiry about oneself will only generate a reality, what's this, for themselves that's according to their beliefs. You can't substantiate belief without it being true. If your belief is based on a lie, superstitious nonsense, you will not be rewarded. But because of your belief in the power of it, you're going to do things that make stuff happen. Y'all call it miracles. But you shouldn't have to work that hard. Just get the truth and use it. It works a lot easier. It's a lot less stringent than trying to make miracles out of what? Bullshit. Simple. Let's go. But some people, again, believe they have the answers. Gotta put a check mark there. If somebody believes something, let them. Don't dispute, don't argue, none of that. Let them believe whatever it is they want to believe. That's respect. Now, the question is, do you have to believe it? Nope. You have to subscribe with it? Nope. You got to agree with it? Nope. But respectfully, that's their belief. Like on piss and asshole, we all got one. They're entitled. And because theirs don't match yours, don't mean you're right and they're wrong, or they're right and you're wrong. No, it just means we all have the right, what? They call it free will. Free will is belief. You're free to believe whatever you want. So don't get caught up in, of course, you believe it, it's got to be. No, that don't mean a damn thing except to you. Again, you and God is making it personal. Then you can do and feel whatever you want. But if your belief ain't manifesting prosperous things for you, why you believe in it? Well, believing is having something to come. You mean your beliefs to turn into what? Knowledge, understanding. One way or another, belief means you don't know. Faith means you got hopes or something. Yeah, but the belief is like ignorance. You don't know. But because you believe it, don't mean a damn thing. It's still what it is. Truth, lies, still truth and lies. If you believe a lie, that ain't gonna make it true because you believe it. When you have the truth, you got to believe it, you can live it. Live a lie has expiration date. Human beings are lies. Why? They're gonna die. Truth don't. Spirit is truth. See where I'm going with this? Well, I'm having fun today. This is teaching from a concept. I'm giving you something that you can understand, hopefully interpret, and use for yourself. We still at number 2. We got a ways to go. But understand this. Again, some people believe they have the answer. Some people believe nobody knows the truth. Some people believe a whole bunch, and they're right. And I know that because I listen. I just listen to people who exercise their belief. I ain't got a problem with that. I'll listen to that nonsense, but they had the answer. But the universe, watch this, is atoms and electrons or energy. Remember, energy, frequency, and vibration, those are all interchangeable things that you need to understand. If not, it's ain't wasting my time. But others, watch this, but you got others who believe that the body is the soul and that there is nothing else. He believed that. He died believing that. Okay, that's why he died. Moving on. Still, watch this. You have others who believe that the mind is the soul, or that there is no soul and no God. Ding, ding, ding. They right again. Why? They got the right to believe what they want. But when it comes down to it, where they get them? Dead. So if your belief ain't well-founded, it don't mean nothing anyway. To nobody but you. But remember, the first qualification for a serious spiritual aspirant, aka right thinker, is that you have a serious conviction that you are greater than just this finite individual mortal body. All you gotta do now is get somebody to enlighten you, educate you, so then point you in the right direction spiritually, so that you can make that walk on your own and reach that point of what? Nihas, know thyself. And watch this, that you are an immortal being. We are spiritual beings. Spirit is immortal, having human experience. We are human for a temporary time to what? To learn a life lesson. That's what I'm giving to you. This is what you need to be learning. I know concepts about life. I just share it with those who want to know. That's it. Moving on. And we are immortal beings who is somehow got mixed up in a temporal form, aka we call the body. We fell from spirit to matter. We got to go back. We got to raise the spirit back, matter back to the spirit. Why? Because the matter going to just expire, die, physical body. That's how you know you're more than a damn body. Moving on. But now, if this conviction is present, meaning your desire to be your best self, that fight in you, then you are now stepping on that arduous, rigorous road of what? To enlightenment. The road is hard for a reason. Now we know why, because a bunch of y'all that scares me. But yeah, it scares me to see a bunch of y'all without knowledge. I would rather see a bunch of people with knowledge than a bunch without, because I'm seeing that, and that ain't good. But they take this knowledge, this information ain't for everybody. Yeah, it should be. It should be. Why? Everybody should at least have, access to it. And right now we do. Information age. See, before everything was secret. If y'all got the good stuff, why the hell you hiding it? Forbidden knowledge. What the hell is forbidden knowledge? That's all free information that if you're interested, it will serve you. Why? Because it's stuff that you might want to know that they're not going to tell you. My information you can't go to college and get. Simple. I got life, not university, institute. No, not that nonsense. Been there, got that nonsense, don't mean nothing. But real life, that's what I'm trying to give you. And you got the teachings that will be useful for you. If you pay attention to the instructions that's given to you, if that's what you want to do, all you got to do is pay attention and implement it. And that's how you'll know you. And those who hold other beliefs are what? Being led by ignorant people who only know what they believe. And they keep taking people with it. That's why they're dangerous. Somebody who don't know, but believe and think they know, they dangerous. Why? You got a bunch of people following them and falling for what they telling them. I've yet to have somebody tell me I'm lying. Moving on. But ignorance will always attack knowledge, intellect. They know mortal enemies. They adversaries. They don't go together. They're not going to play in the same team. Okay, understand that. But ignorance and what we call lack of spiritual sensitivity. That means you got no compassion, no empathy, no understanding of humanity. Your humility is a little, obscure. Why? Because the ego don't give a damn. Why? That's why. And as a result of their beliefs, their beliefs will create their reality for them, but it's only based on those ignorant beliefs. It can't be good. It can't prosper. Why? It ain't worth for nothing. It's just belief. Belief without facts and truth is wasted time, energy, and effort. And y'all find that out when at Judgment Day. But I believe. They told me all I got to do is believe in Jesus. Who the hell is Jesus? Oh, you talking about the Christ? Oh, that's you. Okay, well, get in line. Move on. They will need to travel this road of nature, which will only guide them in time toward what? The path of their true spiritual aspiration. If you want to know God, if you want to know thyself, there's some things you have to do. It ain't gonna be easy. My mother-in-law's favorite phrase, the road to destruction is right on that, excuse me. But yeah, everybody wants the easy way. I tell you, if the crowd going that way, go that way. That's a direct indicator. They don't know nothing, so don't follow them. So whatever way they go the other way. Make sense? Hopefully. I'm still at number 2. This is going to be a minute. I'm going to shut it down 1 second. I got a whole another page to go. But number 3 and 4 go together. On here it said what? 3 and 4 was the purification of more service in the temple. Meaning give up selfish service, help others along their way. Watch this. 3 and 4. And that was 3. And 4 was, but more especially, more such a disposition of your mind and your higher acceptance of the goddess. You got to be open-minded. Everybody, once you believe something, you shut down your ability to learn. That's what the wise man said. But the plan prescribed by the teachings of right thinking philosophy or yoga is the only true means to what? Affect spiritual development. Why? Because it reveals your inner meaning of the teachings, the esoteric, the real hidden message. And it is experiential. You have to experience God for yourself. You can't be told about God. You can't read about God. You have to have your own experience. We call it a but God. When something happened near death, but God. Then now you become a follower of God. Those who wait till life-threatening situations or whatever, near misses to come to God, He'll welcome you with open arms. Those who get asked out in prison, everybody go to God in prison. Well, you got nothing else. That's why I found them over 47 years ago. Okay, so the thing is, find them when you're in prison don't mean jack if you don't stay with them when you get out. But what? You might end up back in prison. Simple. And those who don't, do just that. All right. But when you yourself experience, that's called gnosis. And it's all based on your own personal experience. I can tell you, not conjecture, not somebody's belief. No, that ain't belief. When you experience, belief goes out the window. Now what? You have knowledge. You have gnosis. You have experience for yourself. Sorry, I'm getting excited. But otherwise, worship and religious practices all remain at that level of what? Just ritualism, going to church, going to the river, and it only and do not lead to enlightenment. I know somebody who's been in the church 40 years, still dumb as the day is long, told me my spirit wasn't growing. I like my spirit now. But see, I ain't that type of dude. And I would love, why? To let you know, when you told me that when I was a kid, I knew then, you don't control my damn spirit. No, that's lagging. And good riddance. I'm spiritual master. You 40-something years in the church, still dumb as the day is long. Increase your spirituality. How about, increase your self-knowledge. Stop following somebody else's belief system and know yourself. Move on. Listen to your mother. That wasn't nice, but she would never know. Moving on. 5 and 7. I'm going to stop here and wrap it up. No, I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm doing what I'm doing. Right now, I'm rolling, so I ain't going to stop the rolling. Let's go. I'm hot. Yeah, I'm hitting numbers. I'm hitting the lick. My old man would tell you. This is the mojo. He winding up and he let it go. All right, I'm ready. The name Isis pisses me off, first of all. It's Aset. Represents what they say wisdom. We call it intuitive knowledge. Something that you born with, something that you didn't have to study, something you had to go outside yourself to learn. That's what Aset means. The name Isis represents wisdom. Yeah, itself, which bestows what? The knowledge of the true self. Really? To all initiates. Calm down. Yeah, I'm getting about to fire it up. But that's the concept I mean by changing the name. The name loses its authenticity when you give it Isis. We don't give a damn about Isis. It's Aset. And in the Asarian mysteries, when Set kills Asar, how? By tearing him into pieces. Again, destructive force. When somebody have that hate for you, they're going to just, I keep telling you that's Set. That's your ego. When you got that kind of hatred for somebody, you're subject to do anything. And that's why you want to put that concept under control. Everybody got raised. We all got raised. Male, female, don't make a damn difference. The idea is to control it. We all got them. He ain't going nowhere. I did lesson about women. Don't think they got egos. Egos are the calling card. You who you believe you to be. He is symbolically, again, represents tearing up the soul. Asar is the soul. We're the offspring of spirit and wisdom, or intuitive knowledge, which is Aset. Isis calls it wisdom, yeah, but the offspring between them two is Haru. That's me and you. The spirit that lives on. Our father, Aset's our mother. And Mason, y'all don't know your father because you just know you're the widow's son. Well, who's your dad? We know our mother lied. We know, but who's your father? Who's your daddy? Y'all say Yoda. I remember that crazy nonsense. But when you put it in some context and somebody can understand it, Yoda means your own decision advisor. That means you have knowledge. That means you become knowledgeable. That means you're enlightened. You know things, but back to this. So Set represents tearing up the soul, which is Asar. That's who he killed. However, Aset, intuitive knowledge, she restores the pieces of the soul, which is Asar. Humpty Dumpty fell at the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall. All the king horse, all the king men. Aset only used Anubis, Neptet, Neith, and Haru to put them back together again. And the spirit, Anubis, and Thoth. So therefore, pride and insolence, a.k.a. set, that's egoism, will what? Destroy the soul. We as spirit beings come in, we have to make sure we prevent that. And that's what the fight is, internally fight, the moral fight. That's why you got to set their pensions. They say, well, devil, get behind me. Well, I don't need you leading. I need you, but not to be leading. Okay, that's the fight that's in you. That's the ego. But when the ego will destroy the soul and knowledge of the self, aka Aset, she's able to what? Restore it to its true nature. Bring it back to life. Okay? Through what? Power of Heka. And they called it magic. But the Greeks' name for Aset is supported by the ancient Egyptian scripture. One of the names of Aset is WRIGHT. R-E-K-H-I-T. WRIGHT. That means knowledge personified, the highest level. And Isis, also called WRIGHT, is also a name of who? The God that takes you through the Duat, or the netherworld, who possesses, what? Knowledge, which can lead the soul to the abode of the divine, thus avoiding who? The fiends in the underworld and the demonic personalities of the Duat, which lead the soul to have experience of hellish conditions after death again. And the variation of WRIGHT means a sage or a learned person. I'm going more. Number 8, true spirituality cannot be pursued rashly or in a fanatical way. Don't do none of that. Okay, speak in tongue and falling out, none of that. In a fanatical way by going to the extremes. That's the extreme. And I ain't saying it's wrong. No, I don't do it. Some people, I get say my feet go to moving. Why? My mother said, I'm ready to run. I understand now. That cracks me up. And when you have yoga, when you practice yoga spirituality, is a science. Again, this ain't no half-hearted, but willy-nilly concept. No, it's a science that's been proven to what? Maintain one's balance in one's thinking, one's actions, one's doing. That's what balance and that's what Maya represents. And it has been developed and mastered and perfected over a period, you ready, of thousands of years, which well established by principles and philosophical concepts, which when practiced and followed will produce your desired effect. What they say, free your mind, your ass will follow. The desired effect of leading the initiate you from what? Darkness, which is egoistic, set, into what? Light, which is Haru, knowledge of self. Ignorance to knowledge. Lower, higher. No matter how you slice that pie, it's going to have to be a combat. Why? Two opposites got to do one or two things come together, and you'll find out that your lower nature will give in, and he'll work with the higher nature, and y'all can come together as one. Ignorance and knowledge in unenlightened state from an unenlightened state to an enlightened state. I'm assuming all my right thinkers are in the unenlightened state. My job is to take you to the enlightened state. To what? Know thyself. I'm almost there. We got the road. I can't stop now. But number 9 and 10, the food referred to are fresh foods, swine, sheep, fish, etc. You don't eat them. Pause and salt. Indulgence in over-sexual activities has 2 relevant aspects. What you mean? First, it intensifies the physical expression, and everybody likes to get off and know that good feeling of embodiment, and distracts your mind by what? Creating those impressions in the subconscious, which will what? Produce future what? Cravings and more desires of the flesh. And this state of mind renders the unenlightened individual incapable of concentrating, meaning focusing, meditating on anything significant, only worldly or high spiritual achievements. Secondly, control of your sexual urges leads to controlling of one's sexual life force energy. Instead of masturbating, instead of going to just have sex to get the let that regenerate. Let it go back up and purify. I gave that lesson a long time ago. But which can then be what? directed toward what? Your higher mental, spiritual achievements. Yeah, well, I think the monks who go to, the monastery who don't indulge in sex, the nuns, they get more spiritual. That's all. They take their energy and focus it on God. I understand that. I'm at number 12 right here. We take it on there. Ooh, okay. But number 12, there are two very important points in this line. Once again, we are being reminded what? That good association or keeping the company of a sage or other enlightened personalities is a powerful means to what? Gain knowledge of the state of enlightenment. You can be enlightened by somebody who's enlightened, the illuminated ones. The Illuminati is a group of what? Intellectual beings who think they need to run the world. And again, that's their thing. But to this end, you only need to strive to what? Keep good company. The people I used to hang out with, I don't hang out with them no more. I got nothing against them. I just don't do that. So I don't need to be around them kind of people. If the people you're around don't appreciate what you're doing, gotta be around them too. Family, I don't care who it is. If they're not supporting what you're doing, leave them alone. Why? If they ain't help you, they hate me. Simple. But you want to keep good company, whether it be in your family relations as well as your non-family relations. Again, I do what I do. If you know me, you know what I do. And if that ain't for you, leave me alone. That's why I got no friends. When you're reading what? Uplifting books. I keep books around me. Why? Everywhere I go, my downtime, I'm going to spend it reading and learning something. That's why I'm a student of life. And when you when you read uplifting books for a purpose, they're written by the sages and saints and the teachings of masters. You want to write a book? No, I'm not. Why? Y'all don't read. Well, I'm supposed to read my own book? That makes no sense to me. So I don't see, how much money you can make? Man, I don't give a damn about that. I do this every day. This is good enough for me. Moving on. I'm satisfied. And that's all that matters. When what you're doing, somebody think you can do better or should do better. No, just keep doing what you're doing. Trust me. And when you do what you're doing, that's when you'll discover a more evolved personality within yourself. I don't need them. I don't need the validation. I don't need the improvement. Nope. Don't need the assistance. Nope. When you do that, you seek now to what? Maintain contact with by reading the manuals from the teachers and through correspondence. Any question you got what I'm doing, download and ask me questions. I'll answer for you. But do not debate. Again, do not debate with those who lack spiritual sensitivity or spiritual knowledge. If they're spiritually ignorant, meaning their belief system followers, leave them be. Listen to their beliefs and give them the right to believe, but that's all you can do. That's it. And I pray for them. Why? They need guidance too. And my moms would say, we all need prayer. So the people who don't agree with me, I ain't got a problem with them. I don't got no hatred toward nobody. That's the least of my concern. So yeah. But this form of interaction will weaken your mind. Why? It just brings you down. Just as Jesus said, here you go for y'all Christians, Jesus said, cast not your pearls before swine, for they will trample them as they will turn against you. I understand that. Clear as bell. I'm not wasting my knowledge on somebody who don't want it. I get it. I understand that. I ain't calling you swine, but I get the concept. Okay. Ignorance. Ignorance just means not to know. Okay. Dumb is the action from not knowing. Moving on. Don't be dumb. You can be ignorant, but once you act on it, you can do the dumb act. Now, trust in the omniscience of the divine self. That's Amun. That's the hidden part about God. That's the spirit that you don't see. Amun-Ra is the hidden and the visible. Ptah is the self-created one in the flesh. That's us. Depending on what philosophy you be going by, you got 3 different concepts. But I like to put them all and use them interchangeable because that's what you're supposed to understand. And watch this. Trust in the omniscience of the divine self. That's God, who knows what the past, present, and future, a.k.a. all, who manifests, watch this, as nature to what? Lead others on the path, spread the teachings of the yoga, right thinking philosophy to those who are interested. Ding, ding, ding. Only of those with whom you practice Deal with people on your level. These kinds of interactions will help you both to what increase your understanding from learning, and it will generate a positive frame of mind for you to continue on what it is you think you should be doing for you. Last one, and this is my favorite. Took all that to get to here. The second important point here refers to the continuous reflection and the daily meditation on who? God. That's who I meditate to, which is also expressed in the opening prayer. You ready? Give thyself to God. Keep thyself daily for God. And what? And let tomorrow be as today. I love that. I'm going to do what I do tomorrow. Same I'm doing today. I did it yesterday. I'm going to continue to do it. Why? If it's working, that's the purpose. That's the purpose of consistency. You consistently doing what's working for you. Wrapping it up, taking it home. But this also implies that one's mind should be constantly remembering what? The divine, or considered Christ consciousness, and the glorifying of the divine what? In all things, what? And at all times. Being God conscious don't mean I'm running around here, praise the Lord, hooting out like a damn fool. Nope, I'm just constantly thinking about the things I need to do, how I need to do it. I want to do what's right. Simple. And it means not allowing your mind to develop attachments to what? Fleeting negative events of your human life by what? Be they positive experience or negative ones. Don't let your mood control your actions. When it's good, yeah. But when it's bad, that's the serpent. I tell you about the roller coaster. But it means not allowing. Right thinking means not allowing the negative thoughts and the feelings to lead you into pursuit of them, or the illusionary pleasures of the senses, which is the body, which will draw you away from what? Your divine awareness and the realization that you and God are one. You ain't the flesh. You ain't the body. Don't let the body dictate what the mind does. It means centering the mind by what? Daily meditation, and consider on oneself by what? Self-discovery and the introspection and self-reflection at all times, regardless of what your activities may be, and those activities should be based solely on what? Good and right principles of what? Righteous, virtue, just, and order. That's all that's what I practice, that's what I profess, that's what I live. Wrapping it up, taking it home. I know it was a minute, but hope you got this lesson down. This form of spiritual practice is known as what the Indians call it mindfulness. And in the Buddha and the Vedanta philosophy, in Egypt, we call it nihas. Okay, that's the lesson. No, it took a little while. Ooh-wee, I got through that one. I appreciate you tuning in. Those who do, those who don't, the hell with you. But again, in closing, my bad, I want to be nasty. But in closing, right thinkers, may you all let it be 100. Me, 100 miles that day. So none of my right thinkers who learned the path of the mystical implications of the teachings of Maya philosophy have passed away from the temple of Aset.